Hey guys, welcome back to our home exercise videos. In this video today we're going to be demonstrating some standing exercises that you can complete in the comfort of your own home. So very similar to the previous video with the seated exercises, you need very little equipment. Again, a sturdy dining chair that you can hold on to, maybe some tins of beans, some water or a resistance band or some light dumbbells if you've got them. But again, don't worry if you haven't. So we're going to demonstrate a standing circuit today, and all of the exercises that we're doing, please take them to your own level. So if you want to increase the intensity, by all means do so. You can do that by increasing the speed or adding some more resistance in via some weights. But equally, if it feels a little bit difficult, then you can slow the speed down, or you can take it back down to the seated exercise like we did before. So before we begin, again, make sure your space is free of clutter. Make sure that you've got some windows open so it's nice and well ventilated. Keep a bottle of water close by, keep yourself nice and hydrated, and try to avoid exercising after eating a large meal. So make sure you leave it about an hour if you can do once you've eaten. And we're going to follow the same sort of safe exercising principles. We're going to warm up and we're going to cool down, and please don't exercise if you're feeling at all unwell. So that includes things like chest pain, shortness of breath, dizziness, palpitations, increase in any sort of symptoms. Please don't exercise if you're noticing any of those. And again, during the exercise, please make sure that you're feeling well. So if you're starting to notice any symptoms, gradually slow yourself down and start to rest. And if you need to use that GTN spray, then please use it. So for these exercises at the moment, we're going to do a minute on each exercise. So very similar to the previous one, we're going to do a circuit. So we've picked 10 exercises and we're going to do them for a minute each. This time we're just going to have a 15-second rest. But if you feel like you need to rest for longer, then by all means just pause the video and take a little bit longer. That's absolutely fine. Equally, if you feel like the 10 minutes isn't quite enough, then when we get to the end, before we start cooling down, rewind the video back to the end of the warm-up and repeat that circuit again. So you haven't got to do the warm-up again, but you can repeat the circuit and make sure you cool down in the same way. Okay, so we're going to begin then with a nice steady warm-up. So same as before, it's really important that we warm up, that we get the body ready for some exercise. So always make sure that you do that. I'm going to do a warm-up just stood here, but equally you can do a walk, you could walk up and down your hallway, gradually increasing that intensity. Okay, so instead we're going to start with a march and we're going to do a minute on each of the warm-up exercises, but we're not going to have a rest in between the warm-up ones. Okay, so we're going to start with a march on the spot now then. And you can take this at whatever pace you like. So we're starting off nice and gradual, and we're going to build up as the warm-up goes on. So just a nice steady march on the spot. You can swing the arms a little bit if you like. We've almost done 30 seconds. So now if you can do, we're going to just take the knees that little bit higher. Okay, and we're still having that little swing with the arms. So up and down with the knees just to wherever's comfortable. If it's a bit difficult to raise your knees high, then just keep it at that march. Okay, we're almost there and we're going to take it into some side taps now. So we're going to start with the right foot and we're going to tap out to the side. So we're going out and back to the middle. Okay, so we're just tapping the feet out and alternating them each time. Okay, so out and in with these ones, and again take it at whatever pace you feel comfortable. So we're starting off steady and we're going to try and build up as the warm-up and the workout go on. Okay, so we're taking that out to the side, out and in. So we've done 30 seconds, we're going to try another 30 seconds of that. Out and in. If it's difficult to get your foot too far out, just do a small tap. So you haven't got to go all the way, you can just do a small tap, whatever feels comfortable for you. If we can start increasing the pace a little bit, we will do. Okay, so for the next one, we're going to do some heel digs. So we're going to take the heels forwards and backwards. Okay, starting with your right foot again, we're just going to tap the heel forwards and bring it backwards. So we're alternating again with the legs. Just tapping forwards and backwards, and if we can do, we're going to start bringing the arms in as well. So we've got just that little swing with the arms. I'm going to keep this going. forwards and backwards, just staying on the spot at all times. You don't need a large amount of space to do any of these workouts, so whatever you've got, we can work with it. Just make sure that you're not going to trip up over anything, that the space is nice and clear of any rubbish. Okay, so we're gradually picking up that speed a little bit. And then we're going to repeat those 3 exercises again. So from here, we're going to go back into the march, and we're going to do that in 5 seconds. Okay, so we're back into that march now, and we're swinging the arms a little bit more now. And picking up that pace a little bit. And again, in a few seconds, we're going to start raising the knees a little bit higher if you can do. Okay, so if we can, let's just take the knees up a little bit higher now, so we're taking it into a higher march. And we've still got those arms swinging as well. Very good. And just getting the body ready for some exercise, getting that heart rate up a little bit. And then once again, after this one, we're going to go into the side taps. So let's start with the right foot first. In 3, 2, 1. So we're going out and back in. So same again, but let's start picking the pace up now. And we're just adding that little bit of a bounce in as well. So your knees are nice and soft. We're going out and in. Just taking it to wherever feels comfortable for you. And again, it doesn't matter if you get your feet a little bit mixed up on any of these, as long as you're moving, we're getting that circulation going, we're getting yourself ready for some exercise. Keep this going if we can do. Almost there on this one, and we're going to go back into the heel digs in a moment. So we're going to start with the right foot again, and we're going to take the heels forwards and backwards. But this time, as we take the heels forwards, we're going to bring in a bicep curl now. Working on that coordination a little bit. So forwards and backwards with the feet, up and down with the arms. If you struggle with your coordination, just start with the feet first, take the arms out of the equation. Once you've coordinated that, bring the arms in. We're going to keep that going. You should gradually feel a little bit warmer now, feel like you're breathing a little bit deeper, feel like your heart's beating a little bit faster. So for the next move, we're going to do the side step again, but as we do that, we're just going to take the arms out as well. So we're going to start with the right foot, and we're just going to start with the taps first, and then as we do the taps, we're going to take the arms up as well. So arms up and back down. So taking them up when you tap to the right, bringing them back down when you tap to the left. So we're not going too fast just yet. So we're just taking them up and down. Just to level with the shoulders, we don't need to go any higher than that. Again, if it's a bit uncomfortable for you to raise your arms so high, just raise them to wherever you feel comfortable. Keep this move going for a moment. Getting that coordination working. Okay, so for the next one, we're going to go back to the march, but we're going to add in a chest press. Okay, so if we start to take it back into the march now, and we're going to start with the arms up by the shoulders, and we're going to push forwards and back. So keeping that march going at all times, and we're just taking the arms forwards and backwards. Trying to not lock the arms out, trying to keep a steady bend in the arms. keep this going if we can do. Another 30 seconds. We'll do one more warm-up exercise and then we'll get cracking with the circuit. Keep that going, just a few more seconds. Okay, so for the next one, we're going to keep the march going, but we're just going to do some shoulder rolls. So back into the march, and we're going to roll the shoulders backwards. And we'll try and go backwards for 30 seconds if we can do, and then forwards for 30 seconds. It's a bit difficult to coordinate these two together, but just do what you can. So imagine you're trying to create a big circle with your shoulders. If you struggle to do that, just do a shoulder shrug and trying to touch your ears with your shoulders, so bringing them up and back down again. But if you can, we'll roll them around. And then let's roll them forwards. Okay, so we're just keeping that march going, but we're rotating the shoulders forwards. Okay, we're almost there now for the warm-up. And again, you should feel like you're breathing a little bit heavier, like you're a bit warmer and your heart's beating a little bit faster. Okay, so we've just got a couple more seconds and we're going to bring that to a stop now. Okay, so we're going to start with the circuit in just a moment, and like I say, we're going to do a minute for each station with a 15-second rest. Now during your rest period, if you can do, try and keep the feet moving a little bit. So we don't want you to just all of a sudden come to a stop, we want you to try and keep those feet moving, trying to keep the circulation going and prevent you from feeling any dizziness or lightheadedness. Okay, so we're going to start then in a few seconds with some squats. So if you've got a dining chair, we're going to start here and we're just going to gradually bend down and up. So feet are hip distance apart, keeping your chest nice and upright at all times. Okay, so down and up, and just take this as far as you feel comfortable. So if you struggle with your knees or your hips, you don't have to go quite as far down. And always keep your heels flat into the floor. So we're not lifting the heels up on this exercise, we're keeping the heels planted into the floor, so all the weight is going down through those heels, pushing all the way up through the legs. And if you want to make it harder, you can start going a little bit lower, or you can increase the speed at which you're squatting. So we'll just do a few more of these, 10 more seconds, and then we'll have a 15-second rest. 5 seconds. Okay, and so we're just going to tap those heels now, 15 seconds, and then we're going to go into the bicep curls. So I'm going to use some weights for these ones, but equally you can do them with or without weights. Okay, so we're going to take the arms up and back down. Now if you can, try and keep the feet moving. If it's a little bit difficult for you to keep your feet moving, don't worry. But we're going to try and keep that going for a minute if we can do. And as we're doing this, we're just stopping with the arms when they're level with the body. So we're not swinging all the way back and all the way up. We're just stopping with them level with the body. And your elbows are tucked in at all times. So arms aren't out here. We're just keeping the arms nice and straight, up and down. And we're keeping the upper part of the arm tucked into the body. Okay, 15 more seconds on these ones. And then we'll have a little rest again. Okay, almost there on these. And we're back into a rest. Okay, so the weights are going to go down now. We just keep the feet moving. It doesn't matter how you're moving them. You can tap them forwards, you can tap them to the sides, as long as we're just keeping them nice and steady. And now we're going to go into a half jack. Okay, so this is a side step, but we're adding in a reach over the top now. Okay, so as you step the foot out to the side, you're going to bring the arm over the head. Okay. And this one you can increase the intensity by stepping a little bit further or by increasing the speed. If it becomes a little bit difficult with the arms, you can take it back down and take the arms to the side. Equally, you could reach over to the front if you wanted to as well. If it's difficult for you to get overhead, take the arm out to the side, just like so. Whatever works for you, we'll go with that. Okay. We've got another 10 seconds on this one. Okay, we're going to bring that down now, just to a nice steady march again. Just catching that breath. You should feel a bit warmer now. So the next one then, we're going to go into a chest press. Now again, you could use your resistance band or you could use your weights for this one. So I'm going to start with some weights and we're going to start with them touching your shoulders. So we're taking them forwards and backwards. Forwards and backwards. Okay, so if we turn side on, you can see how we're doing this one. Forwards and backwards. Just trying to tap the shoulder with the weight. Okay. Try not to lock the arms out, try and keep a nice slight bend in the arms at all times. Okay, again, if you want to use your resistance band, you can pop this behind you, you can hold the band and you can press forwards and backwards, okay? So just so you can see from the side that the band's going round my back and I'm just pressing the arms forwards and backwards. I can feel that riding up my back a little bit actually, so hopefully it's not going to ping off and hit me on the head. Forwards and backwards, and the further in you hold the band, the harder that exercise will be. Okay, there we go. So we're going to take that back down now, just to a steady march. Okay, so next exercise we're going to do some shuttle walks then. So I'm going to go right to left. Okay, off we go. So we're going to do a nice pace with these ones. I'm just going to move these back a little bit so I don't trip up over anything. Obviously, if you've got a longer corridor, if you've got a hallway, you can use that. Okay. We're going to keep that going for another 30 seconds if we can do. Take it at whatever speed you feel comfortable. If you feel like you can go a little bit faster, go a little bit faster. Equally, if you feel like you want to slow down a bit, that's absolutely fine. Okay, so another 15 seconds. Okay, almost there. We'll go back to the middle and we're back onto that rest period. So we're just keeping those feet moving. Okay, so for the next exercise, we're going to do some side raises, but we're going to add the weight in this time. So I'm going to use my tins and we're going to start with the arms by the sides and we're going to raise and lower them now. Okay, so we're just taking the arms up and down. Now, if you can do, you can have a little bend in the knees, you can move your legs a little bit, you can have a little tap. You could equally do the tap again out to the side. So we're raising and lowering those arms. Just level with the shoulders, no higher than that. And we're just increasing that intensity a little bit now, getting a few more body parts working together at the same time. Okay, so we'll keep that going. Almost there. Okay, another 15 seconds and we're there. Okay, 5 seconds. And there we go. Okay, so we're going to take it back down, just back down to the tap again now, 15 seconds. And we're going to go into high knees, but we're going to add an arm and a twist into this if we can do. Okay. So, for the next exercise then, we're going to start lifting the knees up. Now you've got a few levels on this. You can just do a knee raise like this. If you wish to hold onto a chair for a bit more support, you can do. Totally up to you. As long as you feel balanced, that's okay. So we're going to lift the knees up, and if you want to make it a little bit harder still, we're going to add a little twist in now. So we're going to aim to touch the knee with the elbow if you can do. We're going to keep that going now for another 30 seconds. So we're getting that little twist in. If it's a little bit difficult with the elbows, we can take the arms back down. Or equally, you can have a swing with the arms. Go for whatever level suits you. Okay, 10 more seconds. Okay. And bringing it back down to that march now. So we're almost there. Next exercise, we're going to do some upright rows. So again, I'll use my weights, but you can use any sort of bottle of water, tins of beans, small dumbbells, whatever suits you. Okay, so we're going to bring the arms up and back down. You can hold a weight in both hands, a weight in one weight in each hand, or you can hold one weight in the two hands. Totally depends on how you find this exercise. So as we're lifting the weights up, we're taking the elbows out to the side. So we're not doing that. We're taking the elbows up, pointing them up towards the ceiling. Okay. Keeping that movement going. Bringing the arms and the weights up to the top of the chest. We're almost there. Okay, and we're going to take it back down into that march now. And the last one, we're going to do a small lunge now, forwards lunge. Okay, so starting with the right foot forwards, we're going to bend the leg down and back up. Then we're going to take the left foot forwards, down and back up. So all the time, we're only doing a really small lunge here. We're just doing a long stride. We're keeping the knee behind that toe. So if I turn side on, you can see. So we're going to bend forwards and take that back knee down. And then alternate the legs. So we're going down and the front knee remains behind the front toe at all times. If this feels a little bit difficult, you can just simply take it into a long stride. So whatever works for you, you haven't got to go into a full lunge. If that's a little bit difficult, like I say, just go into the long stride and that's absolutely fine. Okay, we're almost there now, 5 more seconds. And we'll go back into the march. Okay, so we've got one more exercise now and we're going to do the wall press. So I'm going to rest on my wall. If you want to make it a bit more difficult, if you've got a work surface, you can rest on there. But please make sure that your thumbs go underneath to stop you from slipping. Okay. So for me, my hands are going to go level with my shoulders. So shoulder width apart, level with the shoulders. And all I'm going to do, keeping my feet hip distance apart, is bend down and back up. I might need to move that way a little bit if I'm still on the camera. Okay, so we're bending the arms out and in. So if you can do, you're taking the elbows out to the side. Now make sure you stop at least an inch before the wall. I don't want anybody banging their faces in the wall. The closer you stand, the easier this exercise is. If you want to make it a bit harder, take a little step backwards and take it onto the toes. Doesn't matter if you're on your toes or your feet, provided the exercise feels comfortable for you. Okay, we've almost done there, just another 5 seconds. Okay, and we're going to take it back to a march now. So, we've done 10 exercises there. Now if you feel like you want to do a little bit more, you can by all means rewind the video back to the end of the warm-up and repeat those exercises again. Equally, if that feels enough for you, then great, that's absolutely fine. We'll go into a cool down now. So, as important as it is to warm up, it's equally as important to cool down. So we're going to start with the toe tap then, or the heel tap, whichever you want, tapping them forwards and backwards. So we just want to gradually bring the intensity down now. So tapping those heels forwards, nothing too difficult. Forwards and backwards, alternating the legs each time. Okay, we'll keep that going. I'm going to try and do a minute again on the cool down exercises. So from the heel taps, we're going to go into the side taps. So we've done these a couple of times already now, but we're not going to stretch out quite as far. Okay, so we'll just tap out to the side and back in. So we're just touching the toe onto the floor, just a small stride to the side. Just take it as far as you want to. Okay, and we're going to try and do that for a minute now. So we're just gradually bringing the speed down a little bit now. And you should find that your breathing's coming back down to normal. So just out and in. Let's keep that move going if we can do. Another 30 seconds for this one. Okay. And then from here we're going to go into a march. So we're just going to stay marching on the spot now. Just a nice light march, nothing too difficult. And again, if you suffer with your balance at any point, make sure that you hold on to something. So we're going to take it back down into a march now, and we're going to go for a minute on that one. And then we'll repeat some of those again. So we're just taking that march intensity down a little bit now. You can keep a light swing with the arms if you want to, as long as it feels comfortable and easy for you. So we'll try another 30 seconds of that. And after this, we're going to take it back into those heel digs. So we're going to hit the heel forwards and bring it backwards. So just with the right foot forwards and bringing it back. Alternating the feet each time, just keeping that pace nice and light now. Okay, we'll try and keep that going again for a minute. And again, it doesn't matter if you get a little bit confused or mixed up with your coordination, as long as you're moving and you're gradually decreasing that speed, that's what we want. So continue tapping those heels forwards and backwards, and then in a moment we're going to go back into that side tap. Okay, so if we take it out to the side again and back to the middle. So again, we're just bringing that speed down slightly, just tapping those toes to wherever feels comfortable. We can start giving the arms a little bit of a shake now, giving the wrists a bit of a rotate as we're doing this. Okay. And keep that move going just for another 30 seconds. Take the arms back down to the sides now. And just keep that tap going. Okay, so we're going to take it back into a march now. And as we're marching, we're just going to do some of those shoulder rolls or shoulder shrugs. Okay, so if we keep that march going now, and we're just going to lift the shoulders up and back down. So imagine you're trying to touch your ears with your shoulder and back down. Equally, you can do the whole shoulder roll if you feel comfortable with that. So do a few forwards and a few backwards, whatever feels comfortable for you. So we're just gradually bringing the speed back down now. Keep that going just for a little bit longer. Okay, so now we're going to do a few ankle rolls, which are a little bit more difficult when you're standing. So if you've got something to hold on to, a chair, a work surface, anything like that, then please make sure you hold on. You can hold on with one hand or with two hands. So we're just going to rotate the ankles around now. So we'll do 30 seconds for one foot and 30 seconds for the other foot. So do a few one way, maybe 5 one way, and then 5 the other. And you'll always find it a little bit easier to rotate the ankle one way. Okay, if we keep that going, just loosening those joints off now. And then we're going to change the foot and rotate that one. Like I say, if your balance isn't great and you need to hold on with two hands, then face the chair and hold on with two. Or equally hold on to a work surface or anything that's not going to move. Or rest your hands against a wall. So we'll do a few one way and a few the other. Almost there now. Okay, so we're going to take the feet back down now and we'll do a few wrist rotations. Okay, doing them one way and then we'll go the other way. Again, easier to go one way than it is the other. We'll just do this one for 30 seconds. Okay, almost there. 5 more seconds. And we'll finish with 5 shoulder rolls, nice and easy. So there's 1 and 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we're all done then, guys. Like I say, I hope you've enjoyed that video. Everything can be adapted. You can make things harder or things easier, but hopefully it's useful for you to do some exercises around the house, and we'll try and repeat that at least a few times a week if you can do.